on the sea.
How's it going, Bob?
You know, I speak whale. Come back.
Just as well, he might be hungry.
Don't worry, whales don't eat clownfish, they eat krill.
Swim away!
Oh, look, krill!
Now watches the ships that
Move, Dory!
What's going on, guys? Today we're learning English with Finding Nemo. So I'm Ethan, your real life English fluency coach, and I grew up watching this movie. I watched it countless times as a kid. It's definitely a Pixar classic that anyone from the United States, or I'd say anyone from around the world, probably knows. And it even stars the iconic voice of comedian Ellen DeGeneres. Now, the scene that we've chosen for you today is perfect because it is packed with vocabulary related to the sea and sea animals. It is great for learning how to tell a story in English, and you even get to practice listening to both American and Australian accents. By the way, this week we are celebrating hitting 2 million subscribers here on YouTube. It's really incredible. So to celebrate and to thank you, we have something really special to share with you in just a little bit. Now let's head under the sea with Finding Nemo.
So where are you going?
Well, you see, my son was taken. My son was taken away from me.
No way.
What happened?
No, kids. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, please.
Well, okay. I live on this reef a long, long way from here.
Oh boy, this is gonna be good, I can tell.
And my son, Nemo, see, he was mad at me. And maybe he wouldn't have done it if I hadn't been so tough on him. I don't know. Anyway, he swam out in the open water to this boat, and when he was out there, these divers appeared, and I tried to stop them, but the boat was too fast. So we swam out in the ocean to follow
We
him.
couldn't stop him. And then Nemo's dad, he swims out to the ocean, and they bump into three ferocious
sharks. He scares away the sharks by blowing them up.
Golly, that's amazing.
And then dives thousands of feet
straight down into the dock. It's like wicked dark down there. You can't see a thing. How's it going, Bob? And the only thing I can see down there is
There's the knife from this big horrible creature with razor-sharp teeth. Nice penny, old man. And then he has to blast his way out of the
Two little fish have been searching the ocean for days on the East Australian current.
Which means that he may be on his way here right now. That should put him in Sydney
Harbour in a matter of days. I mean, it sounds like this guy's gonna stop at nothing.
Till he finds his son. I sure hope he makes it. That's one dedicated father, if you ask me.
So in this scene, we see Marlin, Nemo's father, telling the story of how Nemo was captured and his journey to find him. His story fascinates other fish and animals as they quickly share and spread it to their friends all over the ocean.
So where are you going?
Well, you see, my son was taken. My son was taken away from me.
So Marlin means his son was captured and taken from him by force to somewhere far from him.
Kids, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, please.
Well, okay. I live on this reef a long, long way from here.
A reef is a raised area on the ocean floor that's made of rock, coral, or sand. It normally attracts diverse ocean life, like different kinds of fish and other marine animals, as the movie shows. We can imagine that this reef is the famous Great Barrier Reef in Australia. In fact, we can hear several Australian accents throughout the scene and the movie.
Well, okay. I live on this reef a long, long way from here.
Oh boy, this is gonna be good, I can tell.
Oh boy is an interjection that can express two different types of emotions or moods. It is said when you are excited or pleasantly surprised about something, like Dory seems to be about Marlin's story. Check out this other example.
Son of a building block. It's Woody.
everyone. It's Woody.
You're kidding.
Woody!
Oh boy, am I glad to see you guys. I knew you'd come back, Woody.
And it can also be used when you are feeling slightly annoyed or disappointed about something.
Hey, that looks like Randall. Randall's your monster. You think he's gonna come through the closet and scare you. Oh boy, how do I explain this? It's empty. See?
a long, long way from here.
Oh boy, this is gonna be good, I can tell.
As you know, the verb to tell usually refers to saying something to someone, like giving them information or instructions. However, in this case, when we hear Dory say,
oh boy, this is gonna be good, I can tell,
she means something else. What do you think she means? So here we see the other, less common meaning of the verb to tell, which is to know, recognize, or be certain of something. For example, a mother can normally tell if her kids are hungry. See this other example.
See this tentacle? It's actually shorter than all my other tentacles. But you can't really tell, especially when I twirl it like this.
So basically, Dory is saying that she senses that the story will be good.
And my son, Nemo, he was mad at me.
In informal American English, the adjective mad is commonly associated with being angry. So if you say you are mad at somebody, that means that you are angry with somebody.
You know, after we went underground, my husband used to listen to a police scanner, waiting for something to happen, and I got mad at him for it.
What? You knocked down a building?
It was on fire, structurally unsound. It was coming down anyway.
Tell me you haven't been listening to the police scanner again.
Look, I performed a public service. You act like that's a bad thing.
It is a bad thing, Bob. Uprooting our family again so you can relive the glory days is a very bad thing.
Reliving the glory days is...
See, he was mad at me. And maybe he wouldn't have done it if I hadn't been so tough on him.
If you are tough or hard on somebody, you are strict and treat them severely. So Marlin regrets not treating Nemo more kindly and starts to think that maybe he wouldn't have swam out to open water, where he was captured, if he had been easier on him.
You know you can't swim well.
I can swim fine, Dad, okay?
No, it's not okay. You shouldn't be anywhere near here. Okay, I was right. You know what? We'll start school in a year or two.
No, Dad! Just because you're scared of the ocean...
Clearly you're not ready and you're not coming back here till you are. You think you can do these things, but you just can't, Nemo!
By the way, did you notice how he said this? Here we see some major native connected speech. That's how we cut and connect our words. He didn't say, wouldn't have done it. He said,
and maybe he wouldn't have done it if I hadn't been so tough on him. And maybe he wouldn't have done it if I hadn't been so tough on him.
Let's quickly look at a few native tendencies. First, when we have an N and T together, oftentimes we drop the T, like in the words international, international, and interesting, interesting. Listen to this other example.
Hello? Who's this?
New guy.
The dentist took him off the reef. The dentist took him off the reef.
Really?
He's swimming and he's giving it all he's got, and then 3 gigantic sharks. And then 3 gigantic sharks capture him, and he blows him up, and then dives thousands of feet.
All right, gang. We have less than 48 hours before Darla gets here. This tank will get plenty dirty in that time. This tank will get plenty dirty in that time, but we have to help it along any way we can.
And maybe he wouldn't have done it if I hadn't been so tough on him.
Next, in this part, we can see how natives sometimes drop the H sound. This often happens with pronouns, for example, him or her. I heard him. I know her. So he dropped the H in have and connected it to the previous sound, the N from wooden. Finally, it reduces and hooks to done. So instead of saying a clear done it, he says done it. Altogether,
and maybe he wouldn't have done it if I hadn't been so tough on him.
Now, this probably feels a bit confusing. It is an extremely common part of native speech and one of the biggest reasons why it can be so hard to understand your favorite series and movies without the subtitles. What you have just seen here is a perfect example of what students of our Fluent with Friends course learn to master. Hey guys, let me just make a quick interruption to say that we just recently hit 2 million subscribers. It is insane. I still cannot believe it. And we are just so grateful to all of you and all of your support over the last few years in building this channel. Really, all of your support means that we can help more and more people from all around the world to go beyond the classroom and live their English. helping people to not just see it as a dry and boring school subject, but as something fun that they actually look forward to learning, and helping less and less people to give up and more to succeed and love every step of the journey. So to thank you for all of your support in helping us to reach this tremendous milestone, we want to help you to take your next huge step on your journey to English fluency. So just for the next week, we are offering you an incredible 49% discount on our Fluent with Friends course. Wouldn't you love it if this time next year you could understand your favorite series and movies in English even without the subtitles? And wouldn't it be incredible if you could master native connected speech just like we've shown you in this lesson? Well, one of our students, Jenny, says that thanks to our Fluent with Friends course, she can now communicate freely when she travels abroad and even in her daily life. Well, to learn more about the course and how you can get fluent with friends, just click up here or down in the description below. And to get your 49% discount, remember to use the code 2million at checkout. But hurry, this offer is only available for a few more days. Now, let's get back to our lesson with Finding Nemo.
Anyway, he swam out in the open water to this boat, and when he was out there, these divers appeared, and I tried to stop them.
This verb is conjugated in the This is one of the trickiest irregular verbs to conjugate. Even natives sometimes confuse the past and perfect conjugation, but you don't have to. The correct conjugation should be present, I swim, past, I swam, perfect, I have swum.
Anyway, he swam out in the open water to this boat, and when he was out there, these divers appeared, and I tried to stop them, but the boat was too fast.
In this context, open water refers to an area in the ocean that is deep and not close to any terrain, like reef or land. A diver, like the ones we see in the movie that take Nemo away, is a person who dives as a sport or professionally. Divers normally make use of scuba equipment, and that's why they are commonly referred to as scuba divers. By the way, do you know what this similar activity is called?
But the boat was too fast, so we swam out in the ocean to follow him.
We couldn't stop him. And then Nemo's dad, he swims out to the ocean, and they bump into three ferocious sharks.
To bump into somebody or something refers to the action of hitting somebody else with your whole body, normally by accident. For example, when you're walking and not paying attention to what is in front of you. However, as is the case of what the turtle says, it can also simply mean you met somebody unexpectedly, without planning to, not that you actually hit them.
I have to find my son.
Hello?
Well, hi!
Check out this example.
Hey, Rach, funny story. I bumped into Joanna on the street yesterday.
My boss, Joanna? Wow, that must have been awkward.
Well, no, actually, she asked me if I wanted to get a drink.
A ferocious animal or person is very aggressive and violent. By the way, do you know how to correctly pronounce this word? In English, words that end in OUS are commonly mispronounced due to their complicated spelling. But did you know that most of these share the same simple sound, us, for this OUS termination? For example, listen to these three words: courageous, mysterious, ferocious. In the case of this word, make sure that you notice that the C sound becomes an SH sound. Ferocious.
And then Nemo's dad, he swims out to the ocean, and they bump into three ferocious sharks.
He scares away the sharks by blowing them up.
Golly, that's amazing.
Golly is another interjection used to express excitement or surprise about something. If you scare somebody away or scare them off, you are causing them to go away and stay away because of fear or because of possible trouble, difficulty, etc.
Hey, you! Wait a second. Look, I'm not gonna eat you. I just...
To blow up is to explode. This line refers to the moment earlier in the movie when Marlin and Dory escaped from 3 sharks because of an explosion that happened.
He scares away the sharks by blowing them up.
Golly, that's amazing.
And then dives thousands of feet
straight down into the dock. It's like wicked dark down there. You can't see a thing.
Here, the slang expression wicked functions as an adjective and is used to give emphasis. So if a place is wicked dark, it is very dark.
Dory, do you see anything?
Ah! Something's got me.
That was me. I'm sorry.
Who's that?
Who's that? Who could it be? It's me.
The words a thing, when used negatively in a collocation such as can't see a thing, means cannot see anything. Check out this example with another collocation.
But Fiona and I are married now. We need a little time, you know, to be together. Just with each other. Alone.
Say no more, say no more. You don't have to worry about a thing. I will always be here to make sure nobody bothers you.
Then dives thousands of feet
straight down into the dock. It's like wicked dark down there. You can't see a thing. How's it going, Bob? And the only thing I can see down there
is the life of this big horrible creature with razor-sharp teeth.
In this part we've just seen, we can see a fascinating element of storytelling. Did you notice how he is telling the story in the past, but then here he changes to the present tense? Why do you think that he does this? Because that's right. Sometimes we are creative with conjugation when we tell a story. In this instance, he switches to the present tense because he really wants to put the listener in this situation, imagining himself being deep in the ocean and not being able to see a thing. Be sure to pay attention to these changes in conjugation in other parts of the scene and imagine why they might happen.
And the only thing I can see down there
is the life of this big horrible creature with razor-sharp teeth. Nice penny, old man. And then he has to blast his way out of it.
A razor is a tool that people use for shaving. It can also refer to just the blade part of the object, which tends to be very sharp. That is, it can cut through things very easily. So if we say that something, such as teeth, is razor sharp, we mean that the teeth are as sharp as a razor. If you make your way somewhere, you are making an effort to go somewhere. Example, he's making his way across Europe, from Lisbon to Minsk. These swordfish are explaining that Marlin had to blast his way somewhere. He might be referring to when Marlin and Dory had to quickly cross a field of jellyfish. They blasted their way across the jellyfish. By the way, if you want to learn more nautical and fish vocabulary, then the perfect lesson for you to watch next is this one with SpongeBob SquarePants.
Three little fish have been searching the ocean for days on the East Australian current.
So in Finding Nemo, we see a natural phenomenon called ocean current, which is a continuous directed movement of seawater. In the movie, it is represented by a visible tunnel of moving water, as we can see here. So Marlin is using the East Australian current to travel faster and reach the city of Sydney in less time.
Which means that he may be on his way here right now. That should put him in Sydney
Harbour in a matter of days. I mean, it sounds like this guy's gonna stop at nothing
till he finds his son.
The expression "a matter of" is the same as only or just. For example, in a matter of seconds, the building was in flames. So that means in just a few seconds, the building was on fire. So they believe that Marlin will be in Sydney Harbour in just a few days. A harbour, such as the Sydney Harbour, is a protected area along the shore, where boats can be anchored or docked. If you say that someone will stop at nothing to get or do something, you are emphasizing that they are willing to do things that are extreme, wrong, risky, or dangerous in order to get it. Example, he will stop at nothing to save the princess.
Which means that he may be on his way here right now. That should put him in Sydney
Harbour in a matter of days. I mean, it sounds like this guy's gonna stop at nothing
till he finds his son.
I sure hope he makes it. That's one dedicated father, if you ask me.
If you make it, you are successful in achieving something difficult, or in surviving through a very difficult period.
gonna break your neck so you don't feel a thing. How's that?
Wait a minute. I thought rhinos were vegetarians.
An excellent point.
Shut up.
Who says we're gonna eat them after we kill them?
Yeah, come on, move it.
Okay, look. If either of you make it across that sinkhole in front of you, you get the sloth.
In another context, if you make it somewhere, you succeed in getting there, especially in time to do something.
The wedding! We'll never make it in time.
Never fear, for where there's a will, there's a way, and I have a way.
I look for the giant chicken!
Now, Etch! That's where I need to go.
You can't go, Buzz. You'll never make it there.
Woody once risked his life to save me. I couldn't call myself his friend if I weren't willing to do the same.
So where are you going?
Well, you see, my son was taken. My son was taken away from me.
No way.
What happened?
No, kids. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, please.
Well, okay. I live on this reef a long, long way from here.
Oh boy, this is gonna be good, I can tell.
And my son, Nemo, see, he was mad at me. And maybe he wouldn't have done it if I hadn't been so tough on him. I don't know. Anyway, he swam out in the open water to this boat, and when he was out there, these divers appeared, and I tried to stop them, but the boat was too fast. So we swam out in the ocean to follow him.
But he couldn't stop him. And then Nemo's dad, he swims out to the ocean, and they bump into three ferocious sharks.
He scares away the sharks by blowing them up.
Golly, that's amazing.
And then dives thousands of feet
straight down into the dock. It's like wicked dark down there. You can't see a thing. How's it going, Bob? And the only thing I can see down there
is the life of this big, horrible creature with razor-sharp teeth. Nice penny, old man. And then he has to blast his way out of the...
Two little fish have been searching the ocean for days on the East Australian current.
Which means that he may be on his way here right now. That should put him in Sydney
Harbour in a matter of days. I mean, it sounds like this guy's gonna stop at nothing.
Nothing till he finds his son. I sure hope he makes it. That's one dedicated father, if you ask me.
Alright, I hope you've had a lot of fun with this lesson with Finding Nemo. And hey, if you're ready to take your English to the next level and be able to understand your favorite movies and series even without the subtitles, then I want to invite you to check out our Fluent with Friends course. And remember to use that coupon code 2million to get a huge 49% discount at checkout. Now it's time to go beyond the classroom and live your English. Aw, yeah.